For myself, I have to say that Holy Resurrection Parish in Vancouver has always had a particularly warm place in my heart and life. Of course, I haven't known it my whole life, but I first encountered it in the late 1960s when I went to Vancouver to study at the Anglican College there. And during the course of my visits, my studies there, I made visits to Holy Resurrection Church because I had friends in Edmonton who had friends in Holy Resurrection. I had come to know St. Barbara's Russian Orthodox Cathedral in Edmonton, when I was younger. And when I told them that I was going to British Columbia to study, they gave me a name and that was Roman and Sophie Evachniuk in particular, to visit, and to visit precisely at Holy Resurrection. So as soon as I had an opportunity to pay a visit, and I had free time, I did so. And it was the kind of, I would say, love at first sight for me. My first visit was when Father Oleg Boldarev was still there, and I cannot remember exactly the occasion, but it was likely in the vicinity of the Paschal season that I visited. And I remember the warmth with which I was received when I came into that building. It was not only Roman and Sophie Evachniuk, with whom I remained in contact for many years afterwards, but it was also Euphemie Portnov. Pardon it's not because I forget anything, it's because I'm old. Euphemie Anatoly Efimievich. Anatoly Efimievich and Helen Portnov and their relatives were extremely kind to me and welcoming to me. Olga Petrovna Fetisov was also such a person. And then there was one after another in my succeeding visits. Sometimes I came with fellow students, and they were as welcoming and kind and hospitable to them as they were to me. If there's anything that would describe the parishioners of Holy Resurrection, it's warm, loving hospitality. And it's no wonder the parish has been there all this time and has been such a good witness to Vancouver about the Orthodox Christian faith. There's no time I have been in BC that I haven't somehow been there too. And it has always been joy. It was one of the first visits that I was to make after I was ordained to be a bishop. I went to Holy Resurrection with Archbishop Sylvester for his last pastoral visit there. We were hosted by Father Protodeacon Andrea Somov and Matushka Henrietta at the time. And it was also just joy. I was on the patronal feast of the parish. It was joy and kindness and, well, what can I say? Joy and more joy. And it was also one of the earliest places of my regular parish visits in the diocese as a bishop. And even though there were difficulties, what parish does not have difficulties from time to time? But even though there were difficulties, it was always still in the atmosphere of kindness and love, in my experience. I will say that the most difficult thing in the history of my own personal experience with Holy Resurrection was the difficulties over the administration that came with the Russian Orthodox Society. That society had been established with the best of intentions in the 1930s in order to rescue the parish from destitution and closure in the time of the Great Depression. And it did fulfill this responsibility. But the trouble that people did not really recognize with the establishment of this particular society is that it was a society that was rooted in a secular operating structure, which is not the structure that is native to the church, nor does it work in the church. And so, without any intention, the society began to develop it more into a sense of a culture club, or some sort of culture maintenance group than it was actually a worshiping group. There were things that were forgotten, that's what I'm trying to say. There was no bad intent or anything, but things were forgotten and it began to get difficult. There were many attempts to try, in the course of history, to try to correct this improper focus and allow the priest to be the head of the parish as he is supposed to be, the father of the parish. That's why the priests are called father, after all. They're the fathers of a spiritual family. They're not fathers in substituting for Christ or taking the place of Christ. They're just spiritual fathers for the community, and they're the head of this spiritual family. But under this circumstance, the priest was not able to be such, and that's where the difficulty grew and caused all kinds of blockages to the parish's healthy development. So when we came to the final attempt under the rectorship of Father Michael Furyk to try to bring about in a slow and careful way the correction of this, there were some quite painful moments. And they are regrettable that they were painful, but that goes with human disagreements. They're regrettable, and I am grateful to God that most of those things, maybe all of them for all I know, were able to be settled prayerfully with love in Jesus Christ. But the main point of this comment is simply to say that now I am myself extremely grateful to God that Holy Resurrection has come to such a peaceful way of life in its parish life. It's what I would describe as normal, and it's able to be healthy and to be nurturing and with it, and to solve difficulties in a peaceful conversational way. People are not forced, and I am again grateful to God for it. And now we come to the 100th anniversary of the parish, and this is a fact of great joy. And I hope that when the coming to this 100 years of life and witness in Vancouver is going to be but the first of many 100-year anniversaries of this parish and its historical witness in Vancouver, a parish which, out of the love of Jesus Christ, is able to be the yeast and salt that the Savior tells us that we ought to be for other people in this world, in His love. We can give them hope in Him. We can be the gateway. I mean, I'm talking on behalf of Holy Resurrection Church. The parish can be the gateway for many, many, many more people to come to know the truth about Him who is the truth, which is, who is Jesus Christ. And just for a sideways comment, when Pilate asked Jesus Christ, what is truth, just before the crucifixion, before he condemned him to death, Jesus gave him no answer. The question was not the right question, because truth is not a what, it is a who. Who is the truth? Jesus Christ is the truth. As He Himself said, I love to quote it all the time, but in Holy Trinity Sobor in Winnipeg, there is written above the altar, I am the way, the life, and the truth. That's the words of Jesus Christ. And we can help people find Him who is the truth. May the Lord bless, protect, and save and strengthen everyone.